Hotel Senuena Senut Itiren Ishakandu Kemet. Let me check the sound. Okay, loud and clear, that's beautiful. The title of this video is Ancient Egypt Taught the Arts to Greece, and it's a quote from Champollion. Jean-François Champollion, the man known credited for deciphering the hieroglyphic or the Middle Nature, realized that I omitted the URL, the Google's page, so I'm about to correct that right now. More books. Oh my goodness. My goodness. No, no. That's what I don't like. Okay, I have the PDF, so I will. Okay, go to Champollion. We go to Champollion. Okay, I'll try another search. Bear with me. There's no rush. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to use the chat. If you want to get on the panel, you have the link. I just want to make sure that you can access everything that I will share. Well, actually, let's try the actual title of this video. Here it is. Great. It's beautiful. I'm going to the chat. Google Book. Dang, battery level is low. Problem. How much? Oh, never mind. So the previous comment can be removed. Good. We are ready to rock now. So what I will share today is this book or compilation from letters written by Champollion. So the title is in French, Lettres écrites d'Égypte et de Nubie en 1828 et 1829. Written letters of Egypt and of Nubia in 1828 and 1829. I will read an excerpt from the 15th letter written in Thebes on June 18, 1829. I will read the original in French, then I will read a translation that's available, and that's a link that I have shared in the chat. It's a book entitled American Merchant. The publisher is Bryant and Stratton, and it was published in 1858. And on the link that I've shared in the chat, you have right here the link to download the PDF, if you will, if you wish to. Okay. So even though here says volume 1, at the top you can see that it says, and it's handwritten, volume 1 and 2. And the part that I will read, which will be a translation of the French original, will be on page 545, 545 of the PDF. Okay? So let's rock with this first. It won't be long. Once again, it's the original in French. This I can remove. And I'll leave this for the sake of it. Je le répète encore, l'art égyptien ne doit qu'à lui-même tout ce qu'il a produit de grand, de pur et de beau, et n'en déplaise aux savants qui se font une religion de croire fermement à la génération spontanée des arts en Grèce, il est évident pour moi, comme tous ceux qui ont bien vu l'Égypte ou qui ont une connaissance réelle des monuments égyptiens existants en Europe, que les arts ont commencé en Grèce par une imitation servile des arts de l'Égypte, beaucoup plus avancée qu'on ne le croit vulgairement, à l'époque où les premières colonies égyptiennes furent en contact avec les sauvages habitants de l'Attique ou du Péloponnèse. La vieille Égypte enseigna les arts à la Grèce, celle-ci leur donna le développement le plus sublime, mais sans l'Égypte, la Grèce ne serait probablement point devenue la terre classique des beaux-arts. Voilà ma profession de foi tout entière sur cette grande question. Je trace ces lignes presque en face des bas-reliefs que les Égyptiens ont exécutés avec la plus élégante finesse de travail, 1700 ans avant l'ère chrétienne. Que faisaient les Grecs alors? Mais cette question exigerait des volumes, et je ne fais qu'une lettre. Adieu. Now that I've read the French original, let me move to the English translation. We have David Berry who wrote, "Hello, thanks for sharing your stream." It might be the first time. Is it the first time that you come to on the live stream? Feel free to say where you are located. If you don't want to say the city, if you are in the US, then at least tell us which state, if you don't mind. And also, if you don't mind, just tell me how you found out about my channel. If you knew about my channel, or if you just happened to find the live stream. Okay, now let me share the English translation. So before the quote, it says, "We owe to Champollion the rediscovery and restoration of the ancient Egyptian or Coptic language that was wholly lost for some hundreds of years. He it was who taught us to read the story records of the Egyptian monuments, and while in Egypt, examining and pursuing these, he writes thus: Egyptian art owned only to itself all that it has produced of the great, the pure, and the beautiful, and without intending to disrespect to those savants who make it part of their religion firmly to believe in the spontaneous generation of the arts in Greece, it is evident to me, as it must be to all those who have well examined Egypt or who have a real knowledge of the Egyptian monuments existing in Europe, that the arts commenced in Greece by a servile imitation of the arts of Egypt, which were much more advanced than is vulgarly supposed. At the epoch when the first Egyptian colonies were in contact with the savage inhabitants of Attica or the Peloponnesus, so those are two areas of Greece. Ancient Egypt taught the arts to Greece. This last gave them the most sublime developments, but without Egypt, Greece will probably never have become the classic land of the fine arts. I trace these lines almost in the face of the bas relief which the Egyptians executed with the most exquisite finesse of workmanship 1700 years before the Christian era. And what had the Greeks then done? So that's the end of the quote. Non chair. So you'll have to wonder, will someone label Champollion an Afrocentric? I mean, he went as far as saying, and I repeat, that the arts commencing Greeks by a servile imitation of the arts of Egypt at the epoch where the first Egyptian colonies were in contact with the savage inhabitants of Attica or Peloponnesus. Now, in the French, I don't think it says or, I think it says, let me check if it says or and. Oh yes, it says or, so that's where translated. So an era, a time period when the first Egyptian colonies were in contact with the savage inhabitants of Greece, basically. And Greece is the foundation of the Western civilization. But that is a Westerner, a European, who wrote that. Now, in some of the letters, we have some description by Champollion, where he actually sees a different people. And he says that he's a bit ashamed to say it, but the Europeans portrayed were not really enlightening in the world. Actually, he uses the term savage as well. And he first describes some artifact where he makes a distinction in terms of skin tone slash complexion between the Egyptians and the Africans or Negroes, nègre in French. And later on, he says that he looked for other depictions. And he said that again, we see the Egyptians and the Africans portrayed the same way, which could not be otherwise. So, in other words, Champollion uh, basically said that the Egyptians and the Africans were portrayed the same way on the artifacts right from Kemet, and he talks about being honest, you know. So, the English translation, I don't really know where to find it. I don't want to take the time. Um, Maybe some of you didn't know about that particular passage from Champollion, but it is known by a few. But here I wanted to focus on the fact that Egypt taught the arts to the Greeks because I have already quoted Herodotus, who stated that the ancient Egyptians were black, and Herodotus was in Egypt, uh, like what, 2,000 years before Champollion went there. You see, so David Berry wrote that he's okay. He's near Atlanta, ATL. He found my YouTube channel months ago. He watched and subscribed and got notified by my live stream. Well, I'm happy that at least the notification works for a few, because many people complain that it wasn't working. And I'm not gonna make any conspiracy theory, because I know for a fact that it happens on other channels as well, and it's um, quite understandable, because there's millions of subscribers, and it takes a lot, uh, technically, digital wise, to have a system that will be effective in informing the millions of subscribers whenever someone is live streaming. So we also have James Powell in the place to be. Hope you're doing well, brother. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to Garfield's live stream. Um, At one point, Reggie said that when he was told that he had something personal about Jabari, and Reggie said it's more than personal. So I don't know if he kind of said that to mean it is um, personal and beyond, or if it's other than personal but more important. But what is what is clear that the reason why Brother Reggie goes at Jabari so much It's not necessarily the fact that he's not too familiar with the meta nature, but because one time Jabari told Brother Reggie that his analysis was poor. Now later on, he went from he said my analysis was poor to he said my scholarship was poor. I don't have the details, but Brother Reggie is on the team of the plagiarizer. So why do you go so much at Jabari when you belong to a team where there is a known plagiarizer, a known liar? And whatever disdain or situation you have with someone, if you end up saying, that the labeling the Kemetic spirituality as bullshit spirituality, and I've used that term, forgive me for the profanity, but I was just quoting what Brother Reggie says, then there's a problem. You should not label as spirituality as BS just because you have a situation with one person that practices that spirituality. And I have not heard him say that any of the Abrahamic belief system is BS. Not saying he didn't say it, I'm saying I haven't heard it. But that's just for the record. Now, there will finally be a debate between Jabari and Garfield. It's announced for September. I hope it will happen because the way I see Garfield going, I'm thinking maybe he's looking for some drama as and then so he can have the convenient excuse to uh, back out of it, to back down. Because if you're about to debate someone, one of the worst thing you can do is to do what he just did, to play some stuff and say what his angle is and say where you will counter him. It's like two different armies about to go on battle, and you go like, well, you want to battle this way. That's how you battle. That's the wrong way to battle. I'm gonna get you on this. But we'll see. I cannot predict the future, but I'm glad if it happens because it was about time. COVID is over, so there's no pandemic to save Garfield from the upcoming lesson that he will get because really people should holler at people on their level. But if they want to go beyond their level, then they need to buckle up because it's going to be a tough ride, you know. So besides that, anybody can feel free. But when I think, by the way, brothers and sisters, I'm looking for interaction. So if there's no participation, it will be a short one, take advantage. But when I think about all those people who label black people, people of African descent, as Afrocentric, because we say that the indigenous population of Egypt was made up of Africans, black Africans, then they label that, but they will not label Herodotus and Champollion as Afrocentric, you know. And of course, when they label people as Afrocentric, it means people who are historically biased and so on. Now, I can understand if they disagree with some other works, but regarding Greece, but that was a quote from Champollion. So it looks like they are biased. Looks like they are unfair. And despite all the quotes that we may have, whether it comes from Herodotus in about 400 BC or Champollion and around 1800 AD. We have depictions. Brothers and sisters, at one point I thought about, making a page. I think I studied actually, and I even studied a page um, showing Semites, or so-called Semites, people of the Near East, Middle East, Sumer, and all that, all those areas. And I wanted to do the same, showing different depictions of ancient Egyptians. Sometimes you will see some videos, some montage, and people will show you ancient Egyptians and people living in different parts of Africa in recent times. But most of the time, what's lacking is reference. For the ancient Egyptian artifacts, most of the time we don't have any reference. Or you might find some pages where they will show you many different ancient Egyptian artifacts, and then again, from what I have observed, we don't have references. I have quite a fair bit of videos showing different artifacts from many different museums in the world, and I thought interesting for me to compile those Egyptian artifacts where we can clearly see that they are depicted as black or dark brown, but it takes quite a bit of time, and I'm not supported, so I cannot take too much endeavor if I don't get the support. You know, we have seen that Alex Jones with his info wars and all this conspiracy theory, he made like 165 millions in sales in 3 years alone. So, the dude was sitting on millions of dollars every month, and that's just the sales from his website. You can imagine the amount of donation that he was getting. You know, oh, we have brother Chris MVP Harris, and for the record, actually, um, I found out about a critique by Dr. Obadele Combo when he critiqued the book The Origin of the Word Amen, because uh, the plagiarizer, announced that he will critique the critique. And after my critique, Dr. Jahi Issa came to holler, and he was acting like he wanted to son me and talking about, he's serious, and how it's done in academia. When I asked him if plagiarism, is cool in academia, was kind of silent. I think he was probably already aware of the allegations against Osai Motep, but luckily I got hold of the video and I have shown the work of Tim Osiris, and they have demonstrated without any doubt that the fake linguist is a plagiarizer, a serial plagiarizer. And ironically, that was the day after the so-called linguist made his critique of the critique. So you have an amateur, an enthusiast, who's basically telling a specialist, someone who holds a doctorate degree, how to do his job. Now we can see there's some damage control, because apparently it was not enough, because the fake linguist has announced that tomorrow he will receive Dr. Jahi Issa, Dr. Salim Faraji, and the author Osei. Um, those are the three authors or writers of the book, The Origin of the Word Amen. You know, so Dr. Jahi Issa, who came in on his high horse, who wanted to try to son me and tell me how it works, telling me you can do whatever you want to do, there are no rules. He doesn't care to be part of a team with a plagiarizer, you know. So that's the state of Pan African scholarship. And that's just for the record. I ain't trying to start nothing. It's just obvious. Now, he might say, I wasn't aware. I didn't know. So those who know him, holler at him. The video is there. You don't even have to share my video. I'm not looking for views or clout. You can share the video on Sanita's channel that was uploaded like 2 years ago, And he is not the only one. Like I said earlier, Brother Reggie is part of the team. He did not ask to be removed from the team, spending most of his time criticizing Jabari and other brothers of um, shrines, you know. Um, but he's a member of a team where you have a serial plagiarizer. See, and you have other, channels, other people who are cool with that. They don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? They would diss you for being Kemetic. They would diss you with dealing with an ancient language, you know, but they will not say a word about someone who's a serial plagiarizer. David Barry wrote, speaking on bias, recently read the book Carthage Must Be Destroyed: History of Rise and Fall of Ancient Civilization by Richard Miles, depicting the struggle between Carthage and Rome. And what is the bias about this? Because when we talk about Carthage, then obviously most of us think about Hannibal. And I don't know why people say that Hannibal was black. Now, there is a coin, and people say it depicts Hannibal. Um, I don't remember if that coin was in J.A. Rogers' book, but I'll be interested, like I asked before, I'll be interested to know where that coin is located. Is it in a museum? Is it at a university? What's the reference to that coin? David Berry wrote, Rome, after winning their war with Carthage, proceeded to attempt to erase any memory of Carthage and its achievements. All right. Because just like people claim that Hannibal, well, what makes people say that he was black? It's just like Cleopatra. We have some people who say that Cleopatra was black. What makes them say that? She was from the Ptolemaic dynasty, the dynasty of the Ptolemies, who were Macedonians slash Greeks. Alexander the Greek, the Greek or the Great, um, is originally from Macedonia, but that's the Greek Empire. The Ptolemy was one of his generals. Now, I heard some people say, well, Cleopatra was biracial. What makes them say so? Who was biracial? Was it the father? Was it the mother? How do they know that the father or the mother was black? I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to do something real quick. This is Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica, and we have a modern depiction. Hannibal was born in 247 BC in North Africa, and he died circa 183 to 181 BC near Gebze, Turkey. So he was a Carthaginian general. Now, where is Carthage? They will tell you that it's Tunisia. See, Carthage, ancient city, Tunisia. So I will show some depictions. David Berry wrote Hannibal was a citizen of Carthage, and it was implied heavily that Carthage was black. I don't know who implied that. You know, today the inhabitants of Tunisia are definitely uh, white skin, pale skin, Caucasoids. But let's look at back then. And I happen to have quite a few depictions of people from Carthage. So I put Carthage. Yeah, I like that video. That video is entitled, actually, I will share again so we can have the sound. That video is entitled What Carthaginians Looked Like Before Hannibal. Sharing the link in the chat. Link shared. And now sharing the screen again with the sound. Oh, but it's already selected. That's great. So I'm going to let the advert go. And we will look at the video from the Louvre Museum, Paris, France.
Second century AD. Now, this is an artifact from Carthage, Tunisia, around the 2nd century BC. This is from the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. And I will show you a few other artifacts as well. So first we start with the reference. So it tells you that it's a bearded head dressed with with the remains of a bird, and they tell you Serapis for strange reason. It's made of I forgot the name in English, but never mind. Second century
That's marble.
AD, Carthage, Tunisia, and the reference AO 1027. So this is AD. We are going to deal with BC now with a couple of artifacts. Those are the references I will show you in detail. Now this one is a woman. Okay, and then I will show you the man who is next to the woman. There it is. This one is 300, I believe it's BC, but we're going to verify that. Yes, so the woman sarcophagus, 3rd century BC, Carthage, Tunisia. It's a woman wearing a veil and who's actually holding a well. And the reference is, hold on. There it is, MND 799. Now the man sarcophagus, 300 BC, same place, Carthage, Tunisia. And it tells you that it's a priest raising his right hand in a gesture of adoration or worship, if you will. And he's holding a cassolet. I don't know how to translate that in English. The reference is MND 800. And I will show you another one, which might not be 300 AD, maybe a bit earlier than that. This is the one I want to show you. You have that man raising his hand and looks like a bull, but we're going to see what they tell us about it. So I'm looking for the one. Oh, there it is. Number 5. A man raising his hand in gesture of adoration. Oh, it is the same date, 3rd century BC, Carthage, Tunisia. So I will try to zoom in a little bit so you can have an idea of the phenotype as well. Okay. All right.
So we had some depiction. And as we read, if I remember correctly, Hannibal was like 2 240 something BC. If I go back, yeah, born in 247 BCE and died in, circa 180 BC. And the artifact that we've had, hold on, there it is. That's 300 BC. So does that look like a black man? James Powell wrote they didn't look black to me. They didn't look black to me either. But our people, the linguistic acrobatics, linguistic gymnastics, and the Abrahamic quotes, they turn everybody black, as quick as Jesus Christ was alleged to turn the water into wine. That's how quick they would do it. Now, David Berry wrote, Rome forced the original Carthaginian, I guess you meant to write, to leave their city and later rebuild on their side. Yes, I get it. I get it. But we're dealing with 300 BC here. And then Carthage fell in 146 BC. Yeah. Carthage fell 150 years after this depiction here. And that's not the only thing that I have from Carthage. That's why I say, brothers and sisters, I urge you, go to those museums. The large museums usually have artifacts from the Near East and sometimes from North Africa as well. And you will be surprised when you see the artifacts of the inhabitants of those areas. You know. Now, let me share and you see what else I have. Well, the other one is 9 minutes long. So we'll go through it. Now that video is entitled Egyptian Influence in Carthage. I will share the link in the chat before I play the video. I will do this. We might have an ad. No, we don't have any ad. Yes, we have an ad.
Tunisia, Carthage, around BC time. Now, I'm first showing you the artifacts. I'm first influence in Tunisia, Carthage, around BC time. Now, I'm first showing you the artifacts. This is the Louvre Museum, Paris, France. I'm showing you a couple of artifacts with the Egyptian style, and then I will show you the description. And okay, that's better. I'm going to show you the description. Now, this one also I'm showing it to you because they will tell you that it is a Greek style. But there they will tell you that it is indeed an Egyptian style. So once again, this is North Africa, the region that we call the Maghreb. Today, this is Tunisia, Carthage. And a couple of other artifacts there. This is the Ujat eye. Okay, you can see number one. And there, number two is also an Ujat eye. Cannot see it as clearly as yet. Yeah, that's better there. Okay, so let's start with the. Sorry, but it's going to be difficult now. Hold on. This is number one. If you look there, it says there is a Ujat eye. between, hold on, let's see if it's better there. Hold on, I'm gonna try it. That's it. Ujai I, and between the 7th and the 2nd century BC, Carthage, Tunisia. Okay, look, hold on. There. Wow, I cannot hide the light and show you at the same time. Oh, I'm gonna try something. Wait, there. Carthage, Tunisia. Hold on. There it is. Carthage, Tunisia. And for the reference, hold on. AO 3824C. Now for the second one, the second Ujai, I, it is from the 6th to the 3rd century BC, and you can see Carthage, Tunisia underneath. And the reference is AO 30082. I tell you that the mode of acquisition, the way they got it, is unknown. However, the first one, it was from Father Delattre in 1901. That's when it was given to them. Now, this one they're probably going to tell you that it's Egyptian style also, but we are going to verify that. No, they don't actually. So the first ones that I showed you the number 38 and the number 39, and also the number 41 for the Greek style. So we're going to read 38. This is the one. Mask of a woman. Egyptisant, it's kind of a word that I cannot really translate per se, but it's like, I would say, Egypt.
Um, I'm pausing the video just to tell David Berry that I have received your PayPal donation. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Lately, I've been getting very, very few donations. It's quite rare actually now that I get donations. I don't know why, but I must have ruffled some feathers because probably the community likes to liar and plagiarizes, but it's not going to stop me from leaving. Now, the I wanted to say also, there's a sister who sent me a message. She was interested for the Medinetta class, and I did receive your first email a few days ago, and I replied to it. Then I received your other email when you sent me the same message. I presume you did not receive my response, and I saw that you've used two different email addresses, and I have replied to both email address as well. So if you still haven't received my response after checking your spam folder, um, how can we do? Um, you can contact me, I guess, on Instagram or TikTok. But I think this time you should get my message. Because I've used the feature reply to all and I received it. So um, let me know. Let me know. So the sister whose name starts with an N, um, and the other email address starts with a L. I have replied. So let me know. And whenever you want, you can also leave a comment in any video to say whether or not, if you haven't received it, tell me I haven't received your reply. And if you have received it, and you just need to answer. Now the quality of this video is not very great.
Sized.
Let me put the
And
volume down so I want to
this
see
over here,
and go forward. Well, it's small objects, so it doesn't look like we're gonna have some. Yeah, we don't have statues and stuff like that, so there's no need to keep on looking at it. But we've seen the other video, and once again, I'm gonna share again. There it is, 3rd century BC. This is someone from Carthage. So David Berry had to go. He left a message that I have displayed on the screen, and he also wrote, "I want you to stay on. I need to learn more." Um, well, I have that donation, and I don't mind staying for a little while, but let's have some participation, brothers and sisters. You can really address any topic whatsoever, even if you disagree with me, it's fine. I don't screen the calls. So if somebody want to get on the panel and has an issue with something that I said, uh, something that I claim, feel free, take this opportunity. But for those who want to get on the panel, the only requirement is that you show your face. If you don't want to show your face, then you can use the chat. It's all good. I remember years back, the time of the message boards. Man, we got so disrespected and so dissed. People were very arrogant whenever we will bring the blackness of the ancient Egyptians, man. But over time, with artifacts, knowledge of the language, quotes from the ancients, they're nowhere to be found. But it's just weird, you know, till this day it continues. And it's not all scholars. When I say it's not all scholars, the exchange on the message boards was not with scholars, but just average people. Now, ancient Egypt is getting a bad sheet, a bad reputation because of the Abrahamic literature. Pharaoh is like one of the worst individual on the planet Earth, according to some Abrahamic doctrines. And you also have the people who talk about the New World Order, the Illuminati. We have the pyramid with the all-seeing eye. So when some people see a pyramid, they think about that. They think about that um, emblem on the one of those American note, C note, one of this. Um can't remember which dollar bill it is. I don't think it's on every dollar bill, and you we do see the pyramid with the eye. So for a lot of people, when they see a pyramid, they think about Freemasonry, Illuminati, secret societies, and New World Order, and all those things. But we will get some clarity when we'll deal with history. But so far, we have some people who have teams and they decide to speed their game and enforce their theories, their hypotheses. And you have some people who claim to be Kemetic and they're practicing, Jewish holidays. I mean, I hear people talking about, oh, those people from those shrines, they are Kemetic Christians. And we had the discussion live on air. But we have those people who celebrate Kwanzaa, which is a Jewish holiday, plagiarism of our Jewish holiday. You see, plagiarism is basically everywhere amongst the Pan African world. But that gets a pass. That's cool. And this double standard is a shame. This double standard is a shame. Now, people who torture black women, they get a pass because they wrote a nice book. People who plagiarize the Jewish holiday Hanukkah and try to pass it as some African holiday, they get a pass. But some other people will get criticized all day long. So those people, they are the big dogs. Kwanzaa is kind of established as a holiday, and some people feel bad when we tell the truth about Kwanzaa. That it's not African at all, and it's basically, a copy of a Jewish holiday. And indeed, many people, every end of the year when it's the period of Kwanzaa, they've been getting money and they want to, keep making money. But they could, pick and, something else, choose something else. And the same people who celebrate Kwanzaa want to tell, black Christians, that they shouldn't be celebrating Christmas, and come back to their root and so on. But here they are celebrating a Jewish holiday, Hanukkah. It just, doesn't make sense at all. For many years, we've been, practicing things that we taught was uh, from traditional Africa when it was not, you know. So I don't need to talk about the Asiatic black men with their versions of Islam or Islamism, but it's been like that for the longest. But there's this Abrahamic alliance, you know, and lately, we had this attempt with a book trying to tie, this word that is used at the end of the prayers And and any proposition is cool, but what is presented and the method will be reviewed eventually, and that's what happened lately. Yeah, no problem, David Berry. No problem. The storm is here, and the brother is leaving. For those who don't know, I'm giving Meta Nature classes, so those who want to learn, you have that opportunity. But I'm not really doing too much about that because the reality is that people just want to talk, and it's fine. People don't have to learn an ancient language. It's not an obligation. What I lament is just that I've been there for a while. I've been there for uh, well over 15 years, and more than more than a decade ago, I remember all those people talking about they're going to learn the Meta. What I'm saying, that all those people who claim to be Kemetic, and many, well, a few of them, a fair bit, let's say, a fair bit of them ended up dissing the Kemetic way of life or Kemetic people because they decided to turn either Abrahamic or Scientologists. Oh, I forgot my battery level is low. I'm just gonna plug my earset. Just bear with me.
Yeah, I love Elijah Muhammad enough that if you attack him, I would kill you. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I'm not a killer, but neither are you. But if somebody attack what you love, each one of you in here would become a killer instantaneously. Am I lying? Mother, let somebody look like they're attacking your child. Here's a woman who fought a bear because the bear snatched her baby. And she ran the bear down, screaming until the bear dropped her baby. Love casts out fear. We don't give a damn about no white man law when you attack what we love. And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours? You just shut your mouth and stay out of it. Because in the future, we're going to become a nation. And the nation got to be able to deal with traitors and cutthroats and turncoats. The white man deals with his. The Jews deal with theirs. Salman Rushdie wrote a nasty thing about the prophet, and Imam Khomeini put out a death thing on him, and it stands today. Malcolm didn't know what he was playing with. No, he didn't. He didn't know what he was playing with. You don't jump up against a divine messenger of God like he did. He asked to die. And God obliged him. Now you don't understand. Like someone said, did you Muslims kill Malcolm? So the messenger said, and what if we did? He said, what if we did? Have you ever seen a leader scandalized like Malcolm scandalized Muhammad? Have you ever heard of anything like that? Don't you know if you scandalize a man who's loved and honored by the people, what are you asking for? You're asking for death. And he got what he asked for. And those who killed him, they weren't sneaking behind no damn counter. They came in the place where the man was preaching and killed him in front of his own followers. That's fearless men. And those who were there to guard him, they were ducking. Damn cowardly dogs. Ducking and running under poles instead of trying to protect the man. And you say it's your leader? You damn punk, you don't have no leader. If he's your leader, why the hell would you stand up for him? Now all of a sudden they can serve you a dead man on a platter. And you eat him up as your leader, not knowing nothing about him while he was alive and know less about him now that he's dead. Malcolm's momentum carried him to his death.
Let me see if I can find that stuff. Yes, it's there. We need the link where you can find what I'm about to share. Put in Wise of Elijah Muhammad question mark. Now I'm sharing the screen. So when you get on this page, you just need to scroll to the bottom. And here you can see it says prostitutes, not wives of Elijah Muhammad. Newspaper, Muhammad Speaks, September 11, 1964. You see this guy? He's a minister, Minister Isaiah Kareem. Now I'm looking for the part. There it is. Here, some of these hypocrites accuse him of embezzlement, which is a lie, and the one who told it doesn't believe it. On the contrary, Messenger Muhammad gives his followers far more than they give him, and this has been true ever since I've known him. And to those two prostitutes who accuse the minister of getting babies, should hang their heads in shame for the rest of their lives for putting out such lies on the honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, we have a very famous video. 20 years later, what happened? These are the wives. Give these women their dues. Those are not cheap women. 20 years later, the women who were labeled as prostitutes on the Nation of Islam's own newspaper, 20 years later, magically they become wives. And people bought that. So it looks like Malcolm X was probably telling the truth. What do you think? But we can talk about something else because I'm familiar that people don't really want to say much when it comes to the NOI, and I understand people might not want to say that plagiarism is wrong. So we can talk about anything else. You know, I wait a few more minutes. I had a donation, so I'm gonna spend a little more time than I would have if it wasn't the case. But take advantage, brothers and sisters. You can close the other tabs. If you have any comments or statements, feel free. Don't be shy. I don't bite. Even if you are an Asiatic black man, even if you are a plagiarizer, even if you are an adept of linguistic acrobatics and linguistic gymnastics, feel free to holler. It's all good. You can always dialogue and communicate. James Powell wrote, I think Malcolm, I think he probably meant right. I think what they did to Malcolm was wrong, was very wrong. The whole world knows this. If I get popped tomorrow by some NOI zealots, most of those who claim to be down with me, they'd be cool with the people who pop me. They say we have to move on. We all brothers. We have to let bygones be bygones. Not only nobody's gonna ride, but they're a bit cool, man. I'm telling you. And Pan Africans are cool rapists and pedophiles, so if they cannot criticize rapists and pedophiles, would they criticize haters, shooters, killers? No, they won't. There's a book that's gonna be released soon where they will basically tell you that wasn't the NOI behind Malcolm's murder. They might even maybe say it was none of the NOI members who shot Malcolm, or they might say it was just one of them, or maybe it was just two of them. It wasn't four or five. We'll see. Whatever they say, it's on them. So, how long would it take until we come to terms with the fact that those so-called Semites were not black, the so-called Canaanites or inhabitants of um, the land of Israel were not black? Same for the inhabitants of Arabia during the 6th and 7th century. How long would it take? You didn't have many people showing you artifacts from these different areas, did you? And by the way, I have shared in the community, you must have seen that in your feed, I've shared Chuck Morgan's video entitled uh, Sumerians Were They Black? If I'm not mistaken, let me double check. The Sumerians Were They Black? Great video, great breakdown. And I really appreciate that video because um I've actually seen some artifacts that I have filmed in the Louvre Museum. You know, a few pictures from those artifacts. So great job that he did. But then you realize, people of the community, whether they are the neophytes, people who are not well versed in history, all those people who've been teaching you that those people are black, we don't hear them. We don't hear them at all. Not long ago, I was talking with a brother. He wouldn't show any evidence. And it's funny because we're living in a time where some people will just refute what you say and they will not present anything. So once again, it's not disrespect. if some scholars that you appreciate have stated the contrary. We don't live our lives according to what a human being said, particularly when you have evidence. So, unless you consider the person a prophet, then you will feel that everything he's saying is a revelation or it's accurate. But when it comes to the scholars that we had, even if they have passed away, they have transited, we have plenty of records, plenty of data, plenty of evidence for the ethnicity of these different people. So when we will come back home, some people have written books about Kwanzaa. Some people have made documentaries about Kwanzaa. Some people have celebrated Kwanzaa for more than 10 years, maybe 20 years, maybe more. So it's difficult for them to admit that they've been celebrating a Jewish holiday that is not African at all. And same for the people who've been living as believers of the Abrahamic belief system. It's quite difficult. So many will not have the integrity of at least saying, I'm not talking about stop practicing those belief system, but at least saying, well, with the evidence presented over the years by many different people worldwide and the artifacts, where I can say, contrary to what I believed, the people who originated these writings, this belief system, were not black. That will not kill you. You can keep your faith, you can keep your belief, you can continue practicing whatever you want to practice, but you don't need to continue spreading the misinformation because that's what it was. That's what it's been. And that's a real discussion. That's the real discussion that we should have as a people. But we don't have this discussion. We have over and over again the same Abrahamic believers who debate about certain passage of certain religious books. And when it comes to history, they can barely tell you anything. Every now and then they will quote some scholars and they will be full of anachronism. They will show you drawings. You know what I'm saying? As if we don't have artifacts. So each and every one of you listening, you can play a part, you can play a role. You don't even have to support me financially. Some people just don't want to make a donation. This like that's just the way they get down. In their mind, I'm not coming up with $1 when it comes to the information. When it comes to Black history, I would not spend a dollar. I would not share a dollar. Fine. Hit the like button, share the video, and share it also on your social networks, on your social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Now, Pan African Design and Apparel wrote, I feel your pain. I'm tired of the circular conversation. Well, I wouldn't say pain, but I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm kind of tired of it. And I was advised many times to get on a particular platform, but I said the different reasons why I don't feel like going there. I want to advance the conversation, not remain into the uh, uh, fantasy land, fictional stories and fairy tales. I don't want to be participating in this world of uh, linguistic acrobatics and linguistic gymnastics. I might have made one or two uh, statements that could be labeled as acrobatic gymnastics or uh, linguistic acrobatics or linguistic gymnastics. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see me um, perpetuating that over the years. You know, we can definitely be accurate. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for accuracy. So I've heard some people who are kind of dissing Kemetic people try to make fun of Sheikh Anta Diop and all that because they read online on Wikipedia that his scholarship was labeled as pseudo, and some of them disrespecting Kemet, disrespecting the Medu Netra. And now, from what I see, they talk about everything but Black history for the most part. And it's understandable because if you ask them if there's any culture that they practice, I don't think there is. As usual, you have people who say, we West Africans, we're from West Africa. And besides saying that they don't know anything about the culture from West Africa, they don't practice anything related to the cultures of West Africa. And it's funny to me when you have some people who will diss individuals for practicing some ancient way of life that is documented, but they're not practicing anything at all. But the European Westerners' way of life. Why is it okay to, you know, just leave a normal um Westerners' way of life when worldwide we have many people who don't practice the Western's way of life and nobody bothers them, nobody disrespect them, nobody calls their name or insult them or insult their language, whether it's living language or ancient languages. I was talking to the brother Osama Kar, and I told him that I fear it looks to me it's possible that there's more white people who know the men nature than black people. And I think he said that he agrees or kind of agrees, but it's a hard pill to swallow. you know, there's a lot of Westerners who know a great deal about the men nature, and it's not just scholars. You have a lot of enthusiasts, amateurs. They've been studying the men nature for a long time. They can definitely read. They are very familiar. You know, and we have all those comedic warriors, comedic people, male and female. They have comedic names, and that's about it. They might know what their name mean, and that's about it. And it's been like that for years. So, on the American continent, on the European or Euro-Asian continent, and on the African continent, we have plenty of people who proclaim to be Kemetic, but they cannot even read the word Hotep or the glyph Hotep. And that's sad, and that could change. I don't know when it will change. I know some people are learning and they have children and they will teach their children. That's a beautiful thing, but it's moving at such a slow pace, you know. And where are they learning it from? Well, I'm sure they're learning it from the specialists, the experts. It's not difficult. You have plenty of books. There are plenty of books. Some people will learn from what we call institutes because you have some institute where some scholars will teach a particular subject. So you will get a certificate. It's not a university certificate, but it's a certificate that proclaims that according to the standard of such institute, you have reached such and such level. So in Paris, you have some PhDs in Egyptology that do teach the Medunatra and in the Coptic as well. And I'm sure it's the case in other places as well. I know it's the case in other places as well. You have some associations, of Egyptology, and people gather and they learn together. They even organize trips to Egypt in order to visit the monuments, the sites. But we in here saying the Kaaba is the Ka and the Ba. We need to step our game up. We really need to step our game up. I saw a lady, she's labeled as doctor, but I think she has a some sort of metaphysical doctorate degree because that's something that's getting more and more popular apparently. So we will not necessarily be from a accredited school. Well, not necessarily. I don't think there's any accredited university that has a course on metaphysics where you can achieve a PhD. Now, Pan African designs, are they charged to learn or is it free? That's a big problem with our people. PhDs will not give lessons at an institute free of charge. So with institutes, you will have a fee for like a semester, for example. They will not really charge per class, for a semester or for a year. As for associations, there is a yearly fee, and then there are different programs available, and of course for the trips that will be optional stuff. You will not just pay um, a meager fee and then you get a free trip. So, and that's one of the big problem with our people. I mean, Alex Jones has been giving all this fake news, and he's been rolling, sitting on millions of paper. And we have some black people who so say, I'm going to build a school. They got millions of dollars. They haven't done jack. So smooth talkers, they're living it up, but then it's a matter of integrity. What do I want to do? Do I want to be a smooth talker and spread hope? Have my people keep on wishing, hoping and wishing, or do I want to uh, make a difference? Do I want to share some information that will help them, or at least share a skill? A language is a skill. No language, you have a skill. See, bigger. It's a funny name. Bigger PIMP wrote, "We need a cartoon for children, something with some catchy music and memorable songs, drumming." Well, I agree, but we already have cartoons. We have a few um, catchy music and memorable songs. I mean, we have some people, who have songs, but then some people make fun of them. If you're singing in English, people are, they won't say anything. If you sing in, Hebrew, Arabic, Spanish, Italian, they won't say anything. But you start singing in Mother Nature, there comes the people, complaining. You know. So sometimes I'm thinking, maybe it will take a movie for the masses of black people to really put value on what Kemet means to the black world. You know, many people talk Shekinah Diop. Shekinah Diop said that ancient Egypt or Kemet is to Africa what Greece and Rome is to Europe. That's an extremely strong statement. You know, he didn't say that a few camels in the desert is to Africa what Greece and Rome is to Europe. You know, so we have to continue. We do what we can, but the level is low. So reality, we need to step our game up. And when I say we, I mean we as a people. So, like I was saying, each one of you can play a part. What you could do, even if you don't want to share any video on your TikTok or your Instagram, because maybe you might feel some type of way. My family members will know that I don't believe in the Bible or the Quran, so they will look at me sideways, and I don't have enough confidence. I cannot live a life on my own with my own worldview. I can understand, particularly when you're very young, you're living under the roof of someone who has a worldview, and you must comply. We have some others who have their own roof on top of their head, but there's peer pressure or whatever that is, the wifey or the husband. But you can, tell the people that you know about this channel at least and recommend the video called Kemet and Ma'at. before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. You can invite them to come and ask their questions. You can definitely do that. I don't have all the answers. When I don't know, I say so. But consider myself, well versed overall when it comes to Black history. So if I don't have any answers, I might have a way to direct people. But what we have seen today with Carthage and Hannibal is just one example. Many times we feel like those people are black because we heard it. We had a few argument of two, and we bought it. But Hannibal is not the only one. Like I said, Cleopatra is another one as well. And then, of course, you have the Abrahamic patriarchs, and we love doing that. I mean, there's some people who even said that J. Edgar Hoover was like biracial or had some black blood in it. and and of course, we have some Hebrew Israelites who said that King James was black. There's a more. I mean, I had it on tape. Might have the video floating somewhere. Who said that King Edward, the Prince of Wales, was black? I mean, it doesn't end. It doesn't end at all. You have black people who show you some vases from Greece and the areas around it, where you have some individuals painted with the black color, and they want to have us believing that those people were actually black or negroid. And when we look at their phenotype and their hair, it's exactly the same as the one painted white. And we have some websites like we went through a while back, the all black everything websites. It just doesn't end. And we can really do better than this. So, oh, you know what? I thought that looked empty. It's a shame. It's a real shame. That was better. So, for those who want to contribute financially, you have the paypal.me/Ma'af forever. You have the Cash App $ Ma'af forever. That counts. How many likes do I have on this video? I have 9 likes. I don't even have 10 likes on this video. I have a long way to go, man. There's some things I may do. I might come up with some trailers and some nice music and sound effects, and I might get inspired by those people who get millions of dollars every month. You know, but the linguistic gymnastics and linguistic acrobatics and anachronisms and fake history, that I cannot do. I cannot do at all. You know, it's appealing to some because they have a belief system. Believing is not knowing. Believing is not knowing. Faith is not information. So should we call it a day, brothers and sisters? Those who come to catch me sleeping, you might as well use this opportunity. You might have me in the ropes. You might have me cornered. But whenever I'm live streaming, like I've said, I have to repeat it because you never know who's there. Feel free to address any topic you want, no matter what the title says. I really love the interaction. And you will see that there will not be as many live streams as there is lately. So when I say you should take advantage, believe me. So stay safe, stay healthy, And if I'm allowed to by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neture class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at for my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.